It is time for another YouTube live stream. I'm Zach. Welcome back. Let's play some games. We are back in Cities Skylines 2 in my Florida-themed city, the city of Troy, and we're going to, today, we're going to build some wetlands. We're going to do a whole bunch of detailing stuff, a whole kind of a mishmash of different things as we continue to build out this city. In the last stream last week, we've been working on the suburban district, and you might be able to tell I've expanded it quite a bit. This is growing very large. And this is actually a very large area on the map. It doesn't look that large, but it's pretty large. And so we're going to keep working on this and making it a little bit more beautiful. I've talked at length about how this is how I start my suburbs, and I work and do detail work. And this is a section that's finished detailing with the trees and the fences and everything. And so it's quite a difference, and I think it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like a legit suburb. I love this. I just love the look of this whole area. Yeah, my city's expanding and spreading out. It's a very American style. American approach to building a city is just embracing the sprawl as it grows and grows and grows. So yeah, let's jump into the game and do some fun stuff. I think a fun place to start before we get to the wetlands is I wanted to look at taxis. I haven't actually done taxis yet in this city, and I'd like to throw some in. I think now's a good time. We have a pretty decent sized city, and I think taxis could help fill in some of the gaps in my public transportation network. Selyang is in chat. Hey Selyang, welcome to the stream. Saying wetlands, where is it going? It will be going on the coast. We're gonna get to wetlands in a second. But back to taxis. So in terms of public transportation, we have buses, we have trams, we have cargo ships coming in over here at the harbor, and that is pretty much it. Yeah, we got buses, we don't have a train yet. We have trams, we do not have a subway, we have buses, and we do not have airplanes yet. So yeah, let's start by throwing in a depot. Actually, I'm thinking of having two depots, one on either end of the city. So I think it would make sense to have a depot like over here. So it's like near this like downtown district of Brisa Marina. But we got some space right here. This would be a good spot to have it in, I think. Where are the taxi cars? They're in here. So we have a taxi depot and a small taxi depot. We're going to do the big old one, the big old depot. So I think probably, this is one of those blocks of land that no one's going to want to use. It's right next to the power plant. This is a gas power plant. So yeah, this would be a good spot for this. No one's going to want this land. So you can just plop it in right there and take a look. Sorry for the noise, but that's the power plant. Okay. There's our taxi with all the cabs. It's got a lot of cabs. Let's click it and see what our options are. Okay, so we can do garage extensions for more vehicles. We can do dispatch center. This allows taxis to pick up passengers from all over the city, not just dedicated taxi stands. I'm not going to do this because I want to be able to control where the taxis go. I don't want them just going anywhere. And then electric taxis, I am going to do this. A fourth of the taxi fleet is replaced with electric taxis. I think that would be smart. We get some Teslas up in here. Some of those silent taxi cabs driving around the streets. I think that'd be good. Selyang says I would do depots for all transit types at either end of the city. That is not a bad idea, Selyang. We'll have to come back to that idea. So the other place for taxis, I was thinking somewhere over here. Right here we have our road maintenance depot. This is in Gator Gulch, which is the other end of the city. And this is where our road maintenance depot is. We got 10 out of 10 road maintenance depot vehicles in use. Let's go ahead and throw a second taxi depot over here. And we could even put it in. Nope. Oh, do we have? Yeah, we could put it right here. That's a good spot for it, I think. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll make these electric. Oh, it puts in little... Are these chargers? Oh, no, those are trash cans. Did it put those in? I think it put those in. I don't know. Okay. So now we have these. You know what we might do? Can we set these to a district? We can. Oh, that's a cool idea. So we could separate them out to individual districts. Well, what would that do then? Would that mean if someone wants to drive from this, is that just the district they pick them up in or the district that they take them to? Because I don't want them to just stay in the same district. I'm not exactly sure how that would work. Well, we won't set the districts for right now. We'll just let them do their thing. But we have to put in the taxi stand. So for right now, they can only pick up where you put in a taxi stand. Ooh, what is this? We got some pollution over here. I don't really have too many pollution issues in my city, but we do have one building here with ground pollution. They are content. High ground pollution is -9 happiness. Let's look at our ground pollution really quick. Ground pollution. Yikes. I guess I didn't realize how bad these oil fields cause pollution. Look at it's it's going all the way over here. So we got one house and it's starting to seep into these other houses. Isn't there a building that reduces pollution? Reduces ground pollution? Let's look at garbage. Yeah, this building. $6 million? This building reduces ground pollution citywide, but it costs $6.3 million. It's an industrial waste processing site, specialized facilities. I would love to put this in, but I don't have that much money. So for the time being, we're just going to have to delete this house. Or you know what? I'm just going to leave them sick. They're just going to be sick with the pollution until I can afford my ground pollution building. I mean, they're still content. They're content. They're just... Or all these people are content. So there's no difference between these guys and these guys. They're all just content. Well, we'll just leave it for now. We'll just remember that we have a pollution problem over here next to the oil fields. Liam's in chat. Hey, Liam. How's it going? Saying, hey, Zach, and everyone else in chat. So does this mean you're Zach Weekly Games? How was your week? My week was good. Liam says, because your citizens could be sick and reduced health, or causing your citizens to be sick and reduce health. Move the houses. It's cheaper. It's just one house. It's just one house. We'll just leave it for now. I'm sure they'll be fine. Let's put in some taxi stands. So I think the first one we want to put in is probably over here at the ship pier. We don't have any buses or anything coming over here, and obviously a bunch of people come in here. I posted a question on Discord on what we should do. Should we add something to this pier? Because it's looking a little bare bones right now. I love this building, by the way. It looks so beautiful. Let's start by upgrading this. So this comes with taxis, like a taxi upgrade. Transit terminal, an integrated bus station and taxi stand that allows direct bus and taxi traffic to and from the harbor. So let's go ahead and put this in here. Oof, we lost all that parking. No. Now all the people are parked on the side of the road. This can cause a lot of traffic problems when you put stuff like this in, because you got the traffic from the buses, you get the traffic from the taxis. I think what we'll do to fix that is let's actually upgrade this road, because we're going to get more cars on this road. So let's upgrade it to a 4-lane road. Let's make sure there's key walls on the right. Okay, and oh, that's really bright. Can we do like a roundabout at the end? It could be kind of fun. It really hampers this entryway, though. We don't have any room to push this down, but we could extend this road out just a bit. I'm worried how things are going to interact with this entryway. Maybe we could put the roundabout down here. And then it wouldn't interact with that entryway. Yeah, let's do this. If we move it, just extend this down to like here. And let's throw a roundabout at the end like this. We might have to use a smaller one. Something like that. Let's go ahead and put little seawalls on all the sides of it. Yeah, it looks much more finished. It's got this little thing at the end. I really like that look. Okay, so now, and it took the seawall off of this. Oops. So let's put that back on. Okay, that's looking good. And so now we can actually put a median. Put a median in here. Even put the median all the way down there. Oh shoot, I keep taking the seawall off. Selling says, maybe put more healthcare in the area that's polluted. Liam says, is there parking garages? Ooh, that's a good idea. Since we just eliminated all that parking, maybe we should put a parking garage. Selling says, maybe a new parking lot could go in next to the harbor. That is also a good idea. Yeah, so I think that with this median here, it's going to cut down a lot of traffic because people will have to come down here, turn around, come back, and then come in here. It'll just eliminate a lot of traffic. Yeah, I would like to take the parking off of here. Because I feel like if people get dropped off, they would get dropped off in here, right? They would drive in here, drop off their stuff, and then come out. I don't think they would drop off their stuff on the side of the road here. Or maybe they would. Maybe they can pull into all of, maybe they could just pull into all of this area and drop off their stuff. Like people who are traveling kind of thing. Let's go ahead and put a parking garage in. Maybe, where would a good one go? So we got this space here, obviously. How big are the parking garages? Oh, that's too big. That is too big. This one's smaller, but this will take up like the whole, it'll take up the whole place. I don't know if I feel good about that. Underground. That doesn't make any sense that there'd be this big underground garage thing here. Here's the smaller one. Can this fit here? I think there is enough room to put this in here. Did I put 2 in? I put 2 in. Okay, so this obviously is not going to work, but maybe... I like the look that this is a key here. Maybe what we'll do is we'll turn this into a pedestrian path. Yeah, it's like a pedestrian path. And then let's use move it. Maybe move it so it looks a little bit more better integrated. You can even bend it out. Something like that. Okay, that works for me. Okay, let's extend out the ground so we don't have this weird ground issue going on here. Decrease our brush size. We'll grab that. We'll just expand out the ground around to here. So got a little bit of discoloration, but that will go away over time. Nice. And so we got a little parking lot here. We might even put another little parking lot right next to it. Just a little teeny one. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. So got a little bit of extra parking. So let's now take the parking off of here. I don't really like them all parking on the side of the road there. So let's go ahead and take that off. How do you do that? Oh, with wide sidewalks. Put some wide sidewalks all along here. And all along here. Yeah, so no parking here, and everybody should be parking in here, which they are, 17 out of 42, not bad. We're going to actually up this parking fee, because I feel like this parking lot would be pretty expensive. We'll say $25 parking. Oof, that is really expensive. But we have our first taxi stand. And our boat is chugging along right there. V5 is in chat saying hi. Hey, V5. Selling says to the left of the harbor, there's empty land, and then some normal lots across the street. Liam says, are some hotels and shops near the cruise port? Yeah, we do have a bunch of. So obviously, this is a really, really cool commercial shop kind of building, which is like an old warehouse converted into shops, which is cool. And then we got this great restaurant, the Dockyard Lounge Park. So that is really a cool commercial anchor, not only for the cruise people, but also for all the people living along the ocean front here, which is cool. What I would like to add in here is I feel like they would need a little bit more logistical support for this pier. You know, like storage for supplies kind of thing. You know, it takes a lot of supplies to run these passenger ships, and I just don't believe that that this harbor would be the only place they're storing stuff to prepare for all these ships coming in. This, I would imagine this would be mostly for like passenger type stuff and taking care of the people coming on and coming off and their luggage and all that stuff. But I think they would have some more logistical buildings over here just for supplies, to kind of store up supplies and get them ready for these ships coming in. So I think we could do that with a couple of different buildings. I was looking at these warehouses here. I thought maybe we could throw in like some of these. They're supposed to be industrial warehouses, but I think this would really work to be like storage for these supplies for these ships. So we're going to just throw one warehouse in here, and then also maybe some office buildings. If we go to like low density office, level 1, some of these like just base game vanilla assets, I think could really work as like an office park for this stuff that I'm talking about, like storage and supplies, and you know, maybe some offices and stuff too for whatever is going on here. Yeah, like look at, doesn't this look like a very like warehousey kind of building? Even though it's offices. Yeah, I like that. So we'll throw that in here. And then what we'll do is we'll turn this all into like a loading kind of parking lot kind of area here. So let's grab some surfaces. We'll throw in some concrete. No, we'll throw in some asphalt. And just cover this whole area. Yeah, that's nice. And then maybe some more parking even. No way. We just had a crash, guys. I just had a crash on stream. Oh my goodness. I almost never have crashes. That's so unlucky. I wonder why that happened. Oof. All right, let's start it up again. I hope I didn't lose too much. I have autosave go every 5 minutes, so we can't have lost that much. Liam says $25 is the fee for parking at Miami Cruise Port. V5 says, yeah, there's mad warehousing for cruise ships. Southern says, where would the F1 track go if you build one like you talked about? I don't know. Probably on the outskirts of the city somewhere. I haven't really thought that far ahead, but yeah, I would like to do another F1 track. I think that'd be fun. Liam says the office building can be headquarters for the cruise line and op support for the terminal. The headquarters for cruise lines is generally, I think, in Sierra Leone, Panama, Chad, or Lesotho. When was the last save? We will find out. Liam says, hopefully it saved recently. Oh no. It's doing like a mods loading thing, which means maybe there was like a mod update. Because this usually happens if if one of my mods is trying to update. So there must have been a thing. This could take a while, guys. Oh no. We haven't even got to the wetlands yet. Oof. Well, we could use this time. Wait, hold on. Is this too noisy? No, I don't think so. So there is something that it's been like weighing on my mind. I've been like reading a lot of history lately, specifically about ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Does anybody like spend any time thinking about the Roman Empire? Because I think about it a lot. But yeah, so I'm just reading like ancient history and how people lived back in like the Roman times. And it really makes me so grateful for life today because like even like those of us who are poor, we live like kings compared to Roman times and ancient Greece. I mean, we literally live like kings. Like running water, air conditioning. It's crazy. You know, we've got all this food. We don't have to worry about raiders, someone invading our nation for the most part. It's just, it's just made me think, like, we should be so grateful for what we have today because, like, life back then was really hard. It was really hard. I can't even imagine. I mean, no running water. Liam says, oh, there we go. Mods loaded. Liam says, V5, the headquarters for Royal Caribbean and Carnival is Miami. V5 says, Zach, one of the people in space is a military accountant. Nice. All right, let's load up our save game. So the last one is this, 524. So like 5 minutes ago. Oh, look at this is where we were at right before we drew in the pavement. So we didn't lose very much. Yeah, I bet like a mod updated and it kicked me out of the game or something. Selling says, do simulator games interest you? Where do you run a business? I do love simulator games. Liam says, do you want to go back 1,000+ years? I don't. although, I mean, I just love reading the history. I kind of secretly want to be a Roman soldier. I want to be a Roman soldier so bad. Okay, back to work here. Hold on, I gotta change my visual settings. So I do this every time I start the game because these settings won't save. But these are the settings I use for my visuals, and I just think it looks so much better. It's tough because the visual settings change every season, And so what I do is I just play on during the summer, and I keep it at these visual settings. It makes everything look nice and bright and pretty. Okay, so back here, let's go ahead and draw in our asphalt. Oh, shoot. Come on. There we go. All right. This was literally where we left off. Cool. Liam says, I can see Zach with Centurion gear on. I think I could pull it off. My heritage is Italian. I'm from an Italian family. I think so. I've never been out of the country. At some point, this is why I keep talking about going on a world tour, but I would love to go to Italy one day. It seems like a really cool, fun trip. Okay, here we go. So we'll put in some parking spaces here. And we're not going to go crazy with the parking spaces. Maybe I could arrange these better so we could have more parking. Because maybe it makes sense to have parking like... Yeah, let's do this. Let's have parking... like all the way down the back here. Yeah, that's better. And then we can connect it up with an alleyway. Right there. Something like that. And then we can throw in maybe some fences. Would be kind of cool. We got some net lane fences, I do believe. Yeah. And then I think one of these is like an industrial type fence. Fence industrial high. Yeah, this one has barbed wire. I don't think we would use barbed wire necessarily. Let's just use this one. Fence industrial low. No, we would want a high fence. Just for security purposes. Let's turn off snapping for the moment. So I think we'll run it. What are these? Are these like people? I think these are people spawners. So we'll run the fence along here. Maybe... yeah, no, we'll come all the way to the end here. Kind of ended up like that. Kind of a nice enclosed area. And then we'll do another fence area here. Something like that. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. And then maybe this side, maybe we'll leave this open here so that people can just come in and drop off some some loads of stuff. So these are like the more secure areas here, and then we have some more open storage over here. So I'll come through and like add some props and stuff in making this look a little bit more pretty. I mean, there's like, obviously there's like crates and stuff like that you can throw in. Yeah, like all these crates. So we could do some fun stuff like use the line tool. Bring this way down. Oof, way down more than that. Throw in like a bunch of stuff like this. And it's really nice to like make some like slightly different colors. You could just throw down a couple of different things like that in these areas. It's gonna look pretty nice. But look at that, like already just those like little changes, it really kind of makes this pier look much more finished than it was before. So we'll have to wait and see how much the taxis use those areas. We'll come back there and take a look. Where else do we need taxis? Maybe I'll throw one in back behind here. So this is obviously a really busy, popular street along the front water coast here. And you can see from the parking, it is so busy and popular. I think taxis would be really helpful here, but this road gets so full of traffic. I do not want to put taxis here on the traffic. Plus, the taxis would delete these parking spaces, which I don't want. And I'll show you why in a second. But I'm actually thinking back here next to this restaurant here, we got the Lobster Tail restaurant. This would actually be a good place to put taxis because they could stop by the restaurant and then have easy access to the waterfront here. So I think this would be a good place to queue up taxis. If we go down to our mass transit menu and we put in a taxi stand, you can either do a shelter or a taxi stand. We're going to do a shelter. And it works just like buses. So what it will do is it will take the parking off the side of the road and indent the sidewalk a little bit. You can see how the sidewalk's indenting. It will indent the sidewalk and put the taxi stand there. And what the taxis will do, how long does this go? It goes for this whole segment. Okay, we don't want to do the whole segment. We want it to stop like before this parking slot here. So let's create a node first, because I don't want this whole segment to be taxi waiting. I just want the taxi waiting to be from like here to here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start by placing a node, like right there. Okay, so we placed a node, and then we should be able to make a taxi stand like right. Oh, it's still doing the whole street. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, we'll have to do something a little bit more dramatic. Okay, we got anarchy on. So I'm going to draw this up in here just for the moment with anarchy. And then we'll put in our taxi stand here. So this way, it just affects this little stretch of road, and the taxis will come in and line up here. You'll see them come in a line. And then I'll delete this little side road, because obviously we don't really need it. No! And it reverted to having taxis for this whole street. That is so stupid. Okay, well, I don't know how to fix that then. Why did it do that? Oh my goodness. I don't need this whole street taxis. Okay, well, we'll just let it play and see what happens. Will we get any taxis come and stop here? Liam says, I remember when Zach didn't play with autosave. Yeah, that was before I played Cities Skylines 2. I learned really quickly that in Cities Skylines 2, you have to play with autosave because weird things happen. B5 says, I don't think Zach would like marching 40 kilometers per day at 80 degrees. What are you talking about? I love being outside and exercising. Liam says, since it was 2025, has the world tour been moved to 2030? Nope, it's still 2025. I just haven't figured out how I'm going to make it happen yet. But we still have half a year to go to make World Tour 2025 happen. TCC is in chat. Hey, how's it going? Liam says that should look like a beach since it's Florida. Oh, yeah. We talked about this before. I haven't done anything to the beach here because I'm waiting for the new DLC to come out, which the new DLC is supposed to come out pretty soon. Like, isn't it like this month or next month? I mean, we are weeks away from the new DLC coming out. The new DLC is supposed to be beaches and piers or something like that. Piers and... So it's going to come up with stuff that we can use for this area. So I'm leaving it untouched. I don't understand why no taxis have come here yet. Oh, we have people waiting. Look, we got people waiting for the taxis. So where is our taxis? These people are going home. Where's our taxi? I built 2 frickin' taxi depots. Where are all the taxis? Oh, here's some are coming. Here's one. We got our first taxi. Yay! I love it. It's working. Okay. So I'll have to come through and build some more taxi stands throughout the city, but I think that's a good start. We got a taxi stand here at the harbor and then one here at the waterfront, and I'll throw some more around the town. Let's work on the wetlands. Since we're now 40 minutes into the stream. Selling says, better just release it in early access where you run a supermarket. Oh, he's talking about a simulation game. TC says, kind of in the mood right now, but I'm all right. Thanks. Liam says, I forgot about the DLC. Selling says, Bridges and Ports is the DLC. That's right. Bridges and Ports. Liam's asking Tim what kind of mood. V5 says, I thought the Bridges and Piers DLC was supposed to be first quarter 2024. Liam says it was delayed. Okay. So talking about wetlands. One of my favorite areas in the city is something we built at the very beginning. I don't know if you guys even remember this, but we built Gator Park here. And I just think this is beautiful. I mean, this is such a vibe. Just standing here chilling, hanging out with the gators here in Gator Park. It's this marshy kind of wetland thing. And if this is a Florida-themed city, obviously a huge part of a Florida city is the Florida wetlands, where you got like a lot of like marsh and stuff around these cities in Florida, and you got alligators in them. And so I wanted to kind of continue this. I mean, this is such a cool little park. I wanted to have more instances of this around the area. Now, this doesn't, I mean, this does not look exactly like a Florida wetlands. I mean, we don't have all the assets and everything we need. I mean, you have to use your imagination a little bit. This is the best that I can do, though, for right now. So we're going to do a little bit more of this kind of stuff. But I was looking at this area over here. And, you know, we've kind of extended our suburb here. This is the district of Oakwood here, which is like a lower end area. We got these industrial buildings here. We built this mobile home park here. And I got this empty space, and I was like, what do I want to do with this empty space? I really don't want to do that much with it. I kind of would like to leave this green and empty, but I'm thinking this would probably be more wetlands, just like Gator Park was kind of wetlands over here. But we would probably have more wetlands over here. It's like right next to the water. And so let's actually separate this out and say this is protected land that is not allowed anyone to build on all throughout here. And that's why we don't have any, that's why the construction kind of stops. And it kind of reminds me of actually in Los Angeles, they have wetlands. And let me see if I can pull up a map of it. Where is that? It's in like Marina del Rey area. Yeah, look, okay, so look at this. This is the map. I'll close that out. You have the Bologna Wetlands Ecological Reserve in Marina del Rey, which is which is part of Los Angeles. This is LAX, the airport is right here. So you got LAX, you got the Marina del Rey, which is a really fancy marina. And then you have these wetlands right here, right in the middle of the city. And it's just so crazy. I mean, this is such an expensive area. And then you have this protected land right here that no one can build in. If we switch to the satellite view, this is what it looks like for the satellite. And I remember driving around this area, and yeah, it's just interesting. You have city, and then just wildlife refuge. And I used to live over here in like this neighborhood up here. This is where I used to live back in the day when I lived in Los Angeles. This was the nicest neighborhood. This was such a cool place to live. It was right by this is how close I live to the beach, guys. I live this close to the beach. And let me see if my old hangouts are on this map. There used to be a bar over here that I used to go to. I can't find it right off the top of my head, but there used to be a bar. Do you remember the Dos Equis commercials with the most interesting man in the world? It's like a meme that it gets used in a meme a lot, where there's a guy, he's sitting there with his Dos Equis beer, and he talks about being the most interesting man in the world. Where that commercial was shot was the bar that I used to hang out with that was by my house, right by the beach. I kid you not. By the way, I don't drink anymore. This was back in the day when I used to drink heavily. But yeah, crazy times at my beach house by the beach. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. The point of my story was I lived right next to these like crazy wetlands areas. And it's like right through here. So this is what we're kind of going to work on building a little bit. Right here. It's very, very similar. A funny story about that area in Los Angeles, by the way. Steven Spielberg, you know, the famous director? Back in the day when he was starting his studio, DreamWorks. So this DreamWorks as a studio didn't start that long ago. This was, 2000? Something like that? I guess that's a long time ago. But yeah, around 2000 was when Steven Spielberg started his studio, DreamWorks. What he wanted to do was he actually tried to do this. He tried to buy those wetlands in Marina del Rey. And he wanted to buy the wetlands, bulldoze that land, and build the movie studio right there. Because think about it. It was this beautiful land right by the beach, nice wealthy area around the marina. It would have been the perfect location for a movie studio. There was nothing there. They could just flatten the land. And the environmentalists lost their mind. Because it's like, you can't just destroy this beautiful wetlands that the birds, birds migrate from the north to the south, and they land in those wetlands, and then they go on their way. And so the environmentalists stopped Steven Spielberg from building his movie studio, and he ended up building, in Burbank or wherever, down in the valley. But yeah, these things happen in these cities where they take this land and the environmentalists designate it as protected land, and no one can build there. So let's do the same thing we did over in the Gator Gulch Park area. Let's start by building some little water. Do some little blue water. Little like pools of water throughout here. Something like that. We'll throw some more over here. You need pools of water if you want to have a wetlands. And some of the edges of these pools are like a little sharp, but what you'll see is when you put bushes, you can hide these sharp edges by putting bushes over them, and then you don't see the sharp edges or whatever. Then we could even continue it over here in this area here. And we could even have like little nature lookouts, because wetlands are very attractive for different like bird species. And so like people who do bird watching love to go to these areas and look out for different birds. So there's actually these like really small parks. Where are the parks at? Yeah, there's like these little small parks that we could plop in. And maybe these could be like little bird lookouts where you could come and stop by. And hang out at this little canopy and look at the birds who are hanging out in the wetlands. Isn't that a cool idea? Now, I'd like to put in a whole bunch of like marshy looking stuff throughout here. So maybe we could throw in some trees. Except, you know what I'd like to do? Let's use some of these wild green bushes. We're going to use these, but we're going to sink them into the ground. So this is a normal bush. Actually, no, we're going to use a bigger tree to do this. Maybe if we use... That's not bad. What is this? Oh, that's the apple tree. Yeah, maybe we'll use the apple tree. Let's use the apple tree. And we'll sink it. We'll do a negative elevation. Why isn't it sinking it down? There we go. Yeah, so something like this, you just see like the top of the tree. So compare that to the bush. This is the big, the kind of the big bush, and then you got, if we throw an apple tree in there, just the top of it gives us this kind of cool, like low shrubbery bush. And look at it, even like changes color a little bit when you place it down. I think that looks really cool. So let's actually put a bunch of these down. We're going to use our little brush here. I'm going to turn anarchy off because I don't want it to go over the roads. We're going to shrink this down just a touch. But yeah, we're going to throw a bunch of these throughout here. And this will be the whole kind of wet. Oh, shoot! I put it in the water. That's okay. We can fix that up. Okay, some little apple trees like that. That looks really good. Let's grab some of these that are in the water. Move them out like this. What are you guys saying in chat? V5 says it's Mosquito Park. Liam says it's like the Everglades. TCC says went to local Panera this evening and one of the staff had fake nails, no hat, visor behind the food counter, which is a major health code violation in my humble opinion. Selling says, does Gator Park have water? It's better marked, not betterment. V5 says that protected land looked like it's filled, not natural. Probably would liquefy in an earthquake if you put buildings on it. Liam says nothing wrong with drinking. Drink responsibly. Selling says you need wetlands for flood controls, rain, water runoff, storm management, wastewater management, snow, the winter, and spring. Liam says that mod would be nice for making ponds on a golf course. Ooh, we should make a golf course, guys. I hadn't even thought of doing that yet. We don't even have room to put a golf course in here. Let's move this one out of the way. Yeah, but okay, so look at this already. Like, we've barely done anything, but already you can kind of see it really just kind of finishes off this area and really tells the story of what's going on here. That this is, this is extenuation of this park. You had this park over here. We got some more of that kind of wildlife area over here. And then we're going to continue building out the suburbs along the waterfront here. So I'll continue working on this off stream and making it look really pretty and stuff. But I just wanted to show you guys what my process was kind of working on the wetlands. I just thought that was a pretty cool use of this space. Okay, I got a bunch more stuff I want to work on. This is the suburb area I've been expanding. This is slowly going to expand all the way here. But I wanted to show you guys. I've been dotting special houses throughout this district. And I love this about Cities Skylines too. It comes with these unique buildings that are so cool. So these are just special residential houses that you can plop down. And they are all just amazing. So this is the sculptor mansion. And these all come with like little bonuses every time you plop these down. But look at how cool this is. So I'm going to fill this in with other houses and stuff, but I just wanted to show you all the cool special houses that I have in here. Here's some more. And then look at this house. Oh, beautiful. And there's some even bigger, like, mansion-looking houses. This is like this guy has like a skate park in the back of his house. There's some even bigger mansions that come with the game, but I think they would look a little out of place here. So I didn't put any of the big mansions in here. But yeah, I just think these are really cool. And then I put a really cool little park together here. These are some of the new park assets that just came with the game. Look at this basketball park. Isn't this adorable? I love this. So we got a basketball park. We got a playground. We got a large city park. So I'm trying to make, I just imagine this by the water here. This part of the neighborhood would be really attractive. People would really want to live here. You're right next to the farm. You're right next to some parks. You're right next to this beautiful park over here. This is a prime neighborhood to live in. So yeah, I'm trying to put like a nice park here and stuff like that. So we'll build this up with some nice looking houses. In the meantime, I would like to pepper in, I got a little bit of space here by the main road. I would like to pepper in just a little bit of commercial off of this road here, just to add a few more shops. We do have our big box commercial stores up here, like right when the main road comes in. We got big box commercial here, a big commercial establishment here, some service buildings along the main road. But yeah, I would like just a little bit more commercial along this road here. And so I was thinking of actually adding some of the Japanese commercial from the Japanese pack. So if we throw this in here and do Japan building, well, let's just look at these. There's a lot. Holy cow, there's a lot. Some of these are bigger. I don't know if we want necessarily the big ones. Let's go for like level 1 because I don't want anything too. I mean, this is a real suburban type neighborhood. We don't want anything too big. So we had our office park right here. This is the office park we built. Would just like to pop some in over here though. Yeah, something like that. Just a little bit bigger one. Can this fit in over here? Yeah, maybe we can fit this bigger one in right here. Yeah, just some smaller shops and things, just to give these guys a little bit of options of places to go shop. Maybe like a drive-through restaurant would be nice too. I know there's like drive-through looking restaurants with the Southwest pack. What is this? It's like a... I don't know what that looks like. Yeah, this looks like a drive-through. Something like this would be nice over here. Maybe we don't have that much room, but I could squeeze it in like right here. I hate squeezing stuff in though. Maybe what I'll do, yeah, maybe I'll replace these. Or maybe I'll move that and throw it in like right there. Yeah, so it's like right on the corner here. It's just a little like eatery. Look at, you got the little tables. You got like a drive-through thing going on here. Got the little sign, although the sign is floating. I hope they fix that at some point. I don't know why the signs are all floating. It's a bug with the Southwest pack. So, I mean, we've had a little bit of demand for commercial. Yeah, look at, these are all full already with businesses. So, I'll have to throw in like, I'll have to throw in like a little parking lot for this guy. Let's do that while we're here. Just a little parking lot for that guy. Probably throw in a little parking lot for this guy. We can just move it to move this guy around, making it look like it makes a little bit more sense right here. Something like that. And yeah, I'll continue to adjust these because I haven't done this. I haven't done all the houses here, all the detailing for all these houses. So I'll detail these all up at the same time and make this all look pretty. But yeah, well, I think these will all work nicely together. I'll leave a little bit of a gap there for some bushes or something. Yeah, I like that. So just some little commercial just dotted along this main road here, I think makes a lot of sense. Liam says, wetlands look nice. Selling says, not until you build outside the boundary, then you could build the golf courses. Liam says, I want a house. Yeah, I'm trying really hard not to build outside the boundaries of the city because we are about to enter phase 2 of the city. And phase 2 of the city is this whole area right here. Phase 2 is going to be the whole downtown build. And I'm going to have to buy these tiles, and it's really expensive to buy these tiles. So I'm trying to utilize the tiles we have as much as possible and not build outside at all, because I'm saving my money. I mean, we have so much money right now, $5.7 million. That's all going to go away just by buying all these tiles. I'm so nervous about it. But yeah, that's why I'm not building outside the boundaries yet. Liam says, I want a house. Yeah, I haven't named any regions for anybody. I was thinking maybe I would like name street names after subscribers or something. Did I do that at one point, or was that my other city? No, I haven't named anything. Maybe, yeah, I feel better about naming street names than houses after subscribers, because, you know, houses go away. And when people like move in and move out and the names change and stuff. So, would you guys like some streets in my city? We can name them right now. Let's name like the main streets. So this is like a main street here. How would you like this street, Liam? Right now, this is Foggy Street. It goes right through the city. Foggy Street. You can have this street, Liam. Select this. This will be Liam's having fun. Liam's having fun street. Who else wants a street? Selyang, I think you need a street. Selyang, how would you like this street? This is the old town main street of this city. I think this would be a good street for Selyang. So this street here, look at, you got the beautiful pink trees. This is one of the first areas I built. So we will call this, it's Elm Street. We're going to change this name to Selyang Street. And then who else is here? V5 is here. So V5, let's give you a street. How about we give you this expressway? This is the expressway that runs through the middle of town. I can't select it. There we go. If I zoom out, I can't really see it. Okay. Yeah, so this will be, so right now it's Victoria Highway. This will be I can't spell your name, V5VV Highway. What direction is this? This is east to west. So this will actually be V5 Highway West. And then the other side, we'll call it V5 VV Highway East. Boom. And hopefully these don't change. Sometimes when you like add new intersections and stuff, it'll change the names. And we're going to do this intersection maybe next week. We'll work on this intersection. I hope that doesn't change the names. That saves it. Because sometimes the names just change. You know, it just happens sometimes. TCC, you should get a street. Maybe TCC, you should get this street here. This is the waterfront street. This is probably the most popular street in my city. Right now it's called Franklin Street, right on the waterfront. We're going to rename it to TCC Street. Boom. There you go. B5 says, I just got back on the line. Could it be Robert Moses Expressway? No, it's V5 Expressway. It's named. It's done. Okay. So let's do a little bit more adjusting. Since we're talking about areas, we're kind of filling in areas. This is another area that hasn't just has not been filled in yet. We're just going to throw in some bushes and trees here to make this look good. This is the new Liam's Having Fun street. But I think we should also, this is such a main street. I feel like this should have palm trees on it. I really do. This should be like a palm tree lined street. I mean, this is Florida after all. So let's start. Let's make this ground look a little bit nicer because it's got this kind of jagged edge to it. Let's use our slope tool. Just soften this edge a little bit so it's not so harsh. Okay. Yeah, already that looks better. And then let's go ahead and grab our palm trees. And these new palm trees came out that are illuminated. I love this. So we had all these palm trees before. We had 4 palm trees before. And I don't know if this is part of the base game or if this is a mod. But somebody took the 4 palm trees in the game and they added lights to them, which is very cool. I actually used these in the office park we had here. So let me show you what this looks like. If we switch this to nighttime and let it adjust, you can see these palm trees have these little lights on them. They're not super bright or anything, but it just adds a little bit of light to them during the nighttime. And this is in contrast to, like, I have a bunch of palm trees and stuff in the suburbs here, but like, see, these are palm trees up here, but these palm trees are not lit up here at all. They're just in the suburbs. See, there's a palm tree right there. So that's the difference. Like, these are the normal ones. And then these are the lit ones in the office park. So, yeah, we could use the lit palm trees along this main street here. Because, I mean, the light in the main street is in the middle of the road. So it'll add just a little bit more light on the sides, which I think would be kind of cool. So let's turn our daylight back on. We will use royal palms. Yeah, royal palms. We'll do random rotation. We will, ooh, that is too close together. Something like that. I mean, you wouldn't have them too close together. So let's try to draw it by eye here. We'll just try and curve it around. This is not going to be perfect. Something like that. It's pretty good, isn't it? No, that's not good at all. This one, this side doesn't have any. This side has more space than this side does. This might be something I have to fiddle on with off stream because I might have to I might go through and just adjust each one of these. So until I like the spacing. But this is the look I'm going for. I like the idea of like driving down this road and then you having palm trees on either side. as you drive down. I think that feels really nice. What do you guys think? I like it. And then at night, these will be lit up a little bit too, which will be cool. Okay, what else did I want to throw in? Oh, let's go back to the college. So we were working on this in the last stream, and I love how this turned out. I added a little bit more details to our little park here, and look at how popular our tram stop is here. We got a tram leaving right now. We put in these tram stops. People are loving this. People are coming by and having lots of fun. We have this little eatery. We have a fountain. We got flowers and everything. It's just a cool little office park area right here by the college. Something that we're lacking for the college, though, is definitely residential housing. So we need to throw that in here. I almost would like to throw in, though, some older looking buildings. I mean, it's pretty common, especially for an older town here. Remember, this is an old town right here. So this city has been around for a long, long time. You would have an older college. So this is obviously a brand new building that just got built. But this college would have existed for years. And so we needed like an older historic looking building. And I thought we could throw one in here. Maybe there's like, this is the new college, and maybe there's an old historic looking building that we could throw in here. Let's go ahead and flatten this out just to give us some more room here. And I was thinking of actually throwing in an elementary school building. We have like this, like old Dutch building, which looks really cool. But this is an elementary building, but it could be like an old university type building. That's a really cool looking one. There's also these this old UK building, which looks really cool as well. Yeah. So what if we did something like this? What if we threw this in here? And then threw in some roads. So maybe we'll use some like alleyway roads. And throw an alleyway right up the back here and up the back here. And then we could throw the other building like right here. We're gonna need more room. Okay, let's flatten this out some more. This might be like on a cliff overlooking this road here. But if we extend this up, I don't know how big this is. Is this big enough? Then oh, it's just not big enough. But throw something on like this. I think that would look pretty cool. Yeah, like as you're coming up that road. Honestly, what we could do, we don't even need this road here. We could just delete that road. And then this building should fit in here. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that looks so cool. I love it. So we have these old historic looking buildings that are like the old university, and then they built this cool new building here. And this will help as well because we were struggling a little bit with our elementary, and I think this is going to help just add some more elementary school classrooms. Does this come with any add-ons? Yeah, we could add some more classrooms. Yeah, let's just add all of these. Okay, what about this one? Ooh, that is a nice addition. These are all nice additions. Let's add that one. Do we add that one too? Or no? Yeah, we'll add that one too. Why not? Yeah, I like it a lot. We could also add another parking lot here. You know, this parking lot is causing a lot of traffic. We could flip this parking lot around off of this road and it would stop traffic. See, a lot of traffic is trying to come in and out of here right before the trams, and it just causes a lot of backup. Maybe if I grab this, flip it around, it will not cause so much traffic here, which would be good, I think. And what we could do then is add a little pathway through the middle here. And hopefully people could cross here. Or no, they can come down and cross here. Or they could wait at the tram stop. And do we have room for another parking lot? We could even put in one of these bigger garages. Ugh, that would look so ugly. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. No. We could do another parking lot though. I'd love to do another big one, but I don't think there's enough room. Yeah, there's enough room. Let's make this work. Let's figure out how to make this work. Let's go ahead and grab this and flatten out more land all the way to the edge. And then what we'll do is we'll take this road, we'll use our tools to add a retaining wall to this side. There. How does that look? Yeah, that looks reasonable. Yeah, not bad. And then we could throw in another gigantic parking lot right there. I think that's pretty cool. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Since this one's is already full, so maybe this will add some more parking. Lovely. V5 says, wow, a lot of people waiting for that tram. You need low income near the college. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Back to the dorms. So I was talking about we're going to just need to bulldoze this whole area. So I think what we're going to do, let's pause the game. Let's start by deleting these guys. Because what I'd like to do is build some dorms and residential buildings. Now, I think what happens a lot of times these days for universities is the universities won't necessarily build the dorms themselves. They'll work with the city and zone land for new developers to come in and build apartments nearby the university. I think that's happening more and more. So that's the approach I'm taking. I'm imagining this would be like private industry coming in. Maybe the city, maybe me as the mayor of the city, would allocate this land and say, okay, we got this land here. We need housing for students. Let's build some high-rise residential buildings that we can just pack students in. And builders and developers would love this because students are like, it's like a guaranteed revenue source. They know they're going to have students here. They can guarantee that they would show up every year and need housing. So developers would love this. So let's go ahead. We're going to, first of all, we're going to make this a retaining wall all the way along here. So let's flatten out this land here. Right next to this wall. I did a little bit too much. Okay. Let's back that up a little bit too. Okay, then we can create a retaining wall on here. Doesn't that look nice? That is actually quite tall. Yeah, this is quite dangerous. Look at how tall this is. Well, that's what happens when you have elevation changes. You just got to deal with it. So what we could do is we'll obviously need some, people are going to walk up here, but we're going to need a little bit easier walking access than just this is the only way. So maybe we could have like a little walkway coming up here. And I'm thinking what we could do is take our walking path and maybe do like a zigzag thing. Like maybe start from here. I want it to end up here. So maybe we start from here. Yikes, what did we do? Oh, I made it a key wall all around the side. Okay, we can fix that. Okay, so it comes off here, and then maybe we come down. Halfway to here. So this is I don't want to make this too steep. So this would be a negative 10% grade to there. And then we go down to the ground. That's another 10% grade down to here. That's not too bad, is it? So something like that. Now, for some reason, whenever you have the key walls, there's no way to delete these fences that I know of. So you just have to imagine there's no fence here, which is unfortunate. But what we can do is we can connect up to this road here and connect all the way to the tram tracks so that they can come up here and go directly to the tram, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, so let's go back to this road and delete this key wall here. Perfect. Just what I wanted. Okay, so this will be how people get up and down. We can even push this in closer, but I don't want to fiddle with that too much. Okay, so I think what we could do is start with some dorms here and then have a road coming up. That would be cool. So let's have a road coming out in the center here. And maybe throw in a giant cul-de-sac at the end. With a little tree, maybe 2 trees. Maybe a couple trees like that. Looks pretty nice. I like the look of that. And there are some buildings. Okay, so now we're talking about, we want some high density buildings, or maybe medium density. I wanted to look at the Japanese pack. If we go to level 5. Yeah, these buildings. This is, in my opinion, one of the coolest buildings in the game. Look at this. It's just a really cool looking building. It has this like tiered effect to it. I just think it looks so cool. So this is a medium density residential building. It's a level 5, which is kind of pricey. But yeah, I think that looks really cool. And it comes in 2 directions. So there's this direction, and then there's the other direction. Look at that. Isn't that so cool? I love it. I absolutely love it. And then let's throw in some more of these Japanese buildings, like maybe some bigger ones. Like this would be nice. I think there's some even bigger ones. Let's look at the high density buildings. Do they not have high density buildings? Maybe they don't. Let's look at the southwest high density. Ooh, that's a little too chunky for what I wanted here. Let's go back. I guess there is no high density for the Japan pack. Maybe they just have this medium density. But this isn't bad. I mean, this is kind of these look like dorm style buildings. So maybe we could throw in a couple of these. That looks kind of cool too. Yeah, something like that would look nice. How does it look from the back? Yeah, just something like that. And then maybe this one I think looks pretty cool. Just throw a couple of these around here. Not too many. I don't want this to be like completely like high density craziness around here. Maybe we throw that one in here. Maybe we throw this guy in here. Trying to just adjust them so that it looks decent. What do you think? I mean, I think that's a kind of a cool little district. You know, we might be able to fit in some more if we make this road a little bit longer. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to delete that, and we're just going to use move it and just drag this over to here. Why did it stretch the road like that? Yeah, that fixed it. Put a little grass on the sides. Then maybe what we could do, maybe I could actually take this guy and move him down into here. And then maybe I can move this guy over to here. I don't know if I'm loving this building right here. Let me look for a different one. That's pretty cool looking. let's go back to the southwest. Maybe there's a cool southwest building I could throw in here. I mean, these are pretty cool. Some of these look pretty dorm-like. Ooh, I like this one. That's a fun-looking one. Yeah, let's throw that one in there. This looks like a party apartment complex. Yeah, I'm not feeling this building, though. Let's delete this guy. This guy, we're going to have to move until he gets happy with road access. Okay, so that means we have to spin this guy around. Yeah, something like that would be pretty cool. All right, maybe we leave this open. Maybe we have like a little park area or something in here. Maybe there's a cool like little park we could throw in. Maybe something nice where the students could study or something. Maybe something like this. Does that really fit? Not really. We could make it fit. I don't think I've used this in the city yet. Okay, you're going to have to use move it, adjust it a little bit. Yeah, it's got this weird, it's doing this weird thing with the roundabout. This is doing kind of a weird thing too. This is doing a weird thing too. There we go. I don't know if this is going to work. I mean, I could fiddle around with it and make it work. We'll just have to move this pavement back a little bit. But I think it does look nice there to have like the fountain. It just gives a little bit more space in between all these buildings. All right, but the point was I want to have all these dorm buildings. Oh, that's why this is weird. Look at this roundabout is way off. All my using move it and stuff has really kind of destroyed this. Hold on. I'll just have to redrive it again. Sometimes you can't really use move it because it messes things up. Okay, we're going to draw this in again. Straight up the middle, then roundabout at the end. Or cul-de-sac at the end. There we go. Oh no, it destroyed the park. There we go. Something like that. No, everything's complaining again. It's all right. I will adjust it. It will all work. All right. All we have to do is connect this pathway in here somehow. So I'm thinking probably the best bet is to come in through the side here. I don't even know if this is going to work. Yeah. So, yeah, I can get it. If I go like this, it just connects to the side there. And then this will connect up like this. Something like that. Looks connected to me. Maybe we'll add some like benches and stuff throughout here. Make another little park at the end there. All right, let's hit play and see if people move in. We're having electricity problems? What? Not enough electricity? What? What did I do? That's just these buildings here. Why do they not have electricity? It says they're connected. We have plenty of electricity in the city. So I don't know what I broke to make these guys freak out. I'll have to check on that, I guess. It says they have electricity. Look at this. I don't know what the deal is. All right, I will come back to that. Oh no, it fixed itself. Problem solved. Just gotta let the game fix itself. All right, but I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool little dorm complex area right here, just from allowing the city to develop itself. So now hopefully this college, it just keeps expanding and growing. I think it's turning out to be a pretty cool university campus. Whew. Okay, you guys are saying, V5 says the university I went to is building 1,000 more units as they can't bring in more foreign students than they have housing in the university for. Those dorms are still going to need parking. Oof. Yeah, I forgot about the parking. I forgot about the parking. No. You're right. They're going to need lots and lots of parking. Totally. You know what's frustrating is I built this parking garage here. 5 people are using this parking garage. 5 people. That's so frustrating. I'm betting if I put the garage down here, like everyone would want to use it. What I might do is put it like right here. I mean, these people don't really want to live right next to the freeway on-ramp. So let's go ahead and take these guys out and put the parking right there. We will relocate this parking garage. Relocate to be right here. It's almost a perfect fit. It is a perfect fit. Yeah, that looks good. It's not too tall. Fits in right pretty well, I think. And I actually like the surface parking right next to it, too. So I think what we'll do is we'll actually upgrade these roads, too, to get these cars off this road. We will put grass on all of these roads. Just make it a little bit nicer in the area. Just get the people off the street. Try to force people to go to this parking garage. Hey, it's already half full. It is already half full. Just moving it from here down to here Everyone's using it. So there you go, V5. I gave you your parking. Wow, this is a dramatic change to this area. I'm liking it. V5 says, yeah, the parking garage near the highway on-ramp makes more sense. All right, nice. V5 approved. The other thing I want to do, I mean, I can't leave this just green grass here. Let's just throw in a whole bunch of trees. This is a little trick that I didn't know at first, so I'm going to show you guys in case anybody doesn't know. Do you know that you can select multiple trees at the same time? You select a couple that you want. So we're going to select pine tree, and then you hold down, I think it's control. Yeah, you hold down control, and you can select a whole bunch of different ones. So we're going to do pine trees, we're going to do oaks, we're going to do birch, we did linden plane, we're going to do linden, we'll do hickory, and then we'll do bushes. We'll do bush 1 and bush 2. And you know what? We'll even do some flowers. We'll do a bunch of these flowers too. And then what you do is you switch to the multiple tree mode. This is with the tree brush. And we'll increase our brush strength up to 100. And we'll just kind of throw these around in here. Just add a little bit. I don't want this too dense through here. Oh, I want to take anarchy off so it doesn't go on the road. But just so this isn't bare, I just imagine that there would just be some trees here. And look at that. It just automatically gives you a really nice mix of different trees and bushes and flowers, which we're going to use all throughout here. I actually really like how this is adding this mix of trees. Yeah, look at what a difference that makes. I think that looks really, really nice along there. And we might as well just do this up here too. Just extend it along here. Up on, this is the high school up here. We're just kind of fill in this high school area. I'm leaving space here in case we need to expand this high school more, because we do have some space to throw into some more high school buildings, which we'll probably need at some point. All right, looking pretty nice. All right, well, we did a lot today. I think that's a good place to end it. We're almost a 2-hour stream tonight, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I think we had some successful completions, including our new wetlands area over here, which I will continue to detail up. I'll post, once I get this detailed up, I'll post pictures on Discord, so you can check them out there. But yeah, everybody have a great rest of your evening and a great rest of your week. Everybody remember, no matter what is going on in your life, to always do something fun every single day. Until next time, this is Zach signing off.